Hi, everybody. It's me, Coach MarieYolaine, and welcome to another wonderful installation of Money Talks Live, Focus Fire, Fireside Chat. I'm excited today because, well, there's a bunch of wonderful things happening in the world. Should you choose, choose to see the wonderful things. And I know it's challenging right now with everything on earth. It seems like the world is on fire, that we're challenged emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, um, the political climate, the climate in general. So it can feel heavy. And I understand because as an empathetic person, sometimes it's difficult for me to be happy, happy, joy, joy because of all of the things that are happening. But I realize something. My One of my mentors used to say to me, "MarieYolaine, when things go wrong, don't go with them. When things go wrong, don't go with them." And that has given me a sense of power because I realize I may not have any power over things going right or things going wrong, but I do have power on how I respond to them. I do have the power to either swipe left or lean in and engage. And I'm becoming much better now at making those choices of what I lean into and what I let go by. And I'm going to teach you the power of the pause because usually we are reactive as human beings. Something happens and we snap to it. But I submit to you to try the power of the pause. And that is no matter what it is, pause, breathe, assess, and decide. The power of decision is one of the most important powers that you have. So if something comes up, should I engage in this or is this not for me? And if it is for you, then you lean in with everything. If it's not for you, swipe left and keep it moving because the energy that you have is for the specific task that you've been called for and assigned to, whether that's people, places, or things. So I encourage you to use that muscle of pause, assess, and decide. You should do that with your money as well. Right now, it's the fall, and the machine of the holidays has started already to pick up steam to get me and you and all of us out here in these stores. Just yesterday, actually, I was in um, one of these stores looking for a sweater because it's sweater weather out here. So I only needed one. And when I got to the counter, I purchased it and some other things. And the gentleman said to me, "Do you have the store card?" And I said, "No, I do not." Before I could even say I don't want it, his response, "Well, you get 35% off of everything you buy today." And I'm much stronger now than I was back then. So I paused, I assessed, and I decided that I do not need another credit card. And those are the words that I said to him. I do not need another credit card. I actually said, "Bruh, I do not need another credit card." And he laughed because he knew, because we all know. And he rung everything up and he said, "Actually, we actually have a coupon that's running. Go on your phone, go to our site." And he took my phone, scrolled, and went to coupons, and it was 35% off. So I got 35% off of what I was purchasing without getting the 30% off on this credit card. Do I want another credit card? Of course. I want 5 more. Do I need another credit card? I do not. But the pause saved my life because I would have been caught up. People are in line, the sales, him, everything. And then I would have gotten in the car like, what did I just do? But I paused, I assessed, and I decided. So this is, as my pastor would say, that was free. As we look to be different by December, this is one of the tools we are using. Pause, assess, decide. So now you might be wondering, man, this is some really good information. I wonder if she has like workshops and classes. She does. Take a look at this video. Best time to get your money right was yesterday. The next best time is today. I know, I get it. I've been there. Credit card debt, bills piling up, and not taking those calls. I was making good money, but still living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was embarrassed and I was ashamed. Can you relate? But I have good news. You can take action today. It's not too late. Hi, I'm Dignity Coach MarieYolaine, and I am here to empower you to reclaim dignity in your finances. Welcome back. It's October and the season of harvest and renewal. Around here, we don't wait for 2026 resolutions. We don't even do resolutions around here. We are making plans that can be tracked, traced, and tweaked to completion. More on how you can be different by December later. Okay, so we're choosing to be different by December, and today is an exclusive teaching and conversation with our special guest, Nicole Brown, to help you design your life with intention, starting now, today. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have the 4 keys to master your money without a budget you hate. This is on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 12:30, and you can register at focusfire.life. Within the workshop, I present these 4 keys that literally were born out of struggle for me, suffering, and not being good with money at all. And as a result of that, it brought me a lot of pain and suffering, if I'm keeping it real. But sometimes you hit a wall and you're like, I got to get my life together. And that happened to me when I ruptured my Achilles tendon, and I had like 12 weeks to think about my life. So these keys I have used to help my clients and the groups and the community to get their head right about money. So I'm excited to bring one of those folks here to talk about it and to talk about her experience too. So today's guest is a seasoned broadcast professional with more than 2 decades across major stations and networks: Universal Broadcasting, 1520, MS Communications, WKRS, 98.7 KISS FM, and currently the Midday Host for 570 WMCA and 102.3 FM in New York with Salem Communications. She also serves as a CCC news correspondent with the Christian Cultural Center. Please put your hands together and help me welcome the incomparable, the wonderful Nicole Brown. I am going to find that. I don't know where it is, but I am going to. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, MarieYolaine.
So happy to see your face here today.
Likewise.
Woo, okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for saying yes. That's really what it is. So I'm excited to talk to you because of the fact that I've known you for, Nicole, it's been over a decade.
Have we gotten to a decade yet?
I feel
we
like
might be close to it. Yeah,
I feel it's been, as the you them say,
2015. I don't. Well, we'll see.
It's been a minute.
Right? I was gonna say, when did you start C2C?
2010.
10, so maybe a few years after. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I think we're definitely, because we're in
In a
2025. So
decade. Yeah, right.
yeah, this
Probably.
time flew, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I've known you for a while, and uh, your professionalism and just how you carry yourself, period. You're also a good friend, which,
Hey.
these days everybody needs a good friend. And I'm glad you're mine. So again, thank you for agreeing to come on. You have been a part of this money journey, this Focus Fire finances journey that used to be the Financial Freedom Workshop and then has morphed into this. So I'm interested to hear your money journey. So I'm going to say first, take us into your money journey through the lens of your broadcasting career. What early lessons and pivotal decisions shaped your relationship with money?
Wow. So thank you again, Marie, for having me on your Money Talks to Focus Fire. Yes, I'm excited to be a part of this chat, Fireside Chat. The journey from money starts from young, and the scripts that we've been told or how we've been taught, and not even just a script, but really the model. The
Mm,
model of our parents or the absent parent. For me, in my case, grew up in a single parent household, and older brother, 2 years older than me, and my mom was the breadwinner, but never knew about money. So she knew what she knew, but she kind of kept it to herself. So even if she
mm,
said save, I don't know what, put away, we know that. But a lot of times I also heard her say, I'm going to put it on the card. And to this day, she puts on the card, even though I think she's pretty decent with how she takes care of her bills, but she has not amassed what she could have at the age that she is.
I got you.
So as I grew up and learned or didn't really understand the level of importance that I needed to know in handling money. So even when I got into broadcasting, I was, I guess, okay, but I hadn't saved anything. And in broadcasting, people have this perception that you are living the millionaire life, or because of the status, because of the position that you hold, they perceive, assume, whatever the word is, that you are balling. And
Mm,
I was not bawling. And I don't mean bawling as in crying. I'm talking about,
a
with
baller.
a baller, right? Right. Like,
Packing.
oh
Like,
no, I'm not.
a bag. I think there's
you know.
words for that. Yeah.
So, and yes, the status was real, the prestige somewhat was real. But if anybody thought, oh, she got to have a car, a house, of this, or that, and all these things in order, I didn't. I actually lived in my mom's home, in a
Mm,
small starter home, which she still kind of lives in. That she lives in now, in a on a twin bed. So after going on a major broadcasting radio station, I would be going home to my mother's home and sleeping on a twin bed. And I didn't earn that much because I probably was too afraid to maximize the
mm,
opportunities as well at times, and also because I was not a full-time disc jockey on any of these stations. So as a part-time jockey, you don't, or personality, radio personality, you don't necessarily earn what someone who's contracted to earn
mm.
in that space. So I was still kind of living pauperish. I thank God for some levels of frugality, which I might have learned through mom and some of that, but still never having enough, never having enough. And that has been a part of the journey. It always felt like I never had enough.
So this is, first of all, thank you for sharing and being transparent about that, because
Mhm.
I think that it's a trap sometimes in different professions. Like you can be a starving artist and nobody judges you, right? If you're working at Dunkin' Donuts and you're taking temp gigs, but you're an actor,
Right,
so it's okay. Or you're a you're a sports person or whatever kind of creative that you may be, the
right.
word starving is often attached to it. So no one is necessarily judging that you,
Judge.
quote unquote, don't make a lot of money, right?
Right.
But if you're a doctor, a lawyer, you're in broadcast, as you said, there's certain professions that people associate that with, that you are making six figures. Like that's
Exactly.
what it is, right? Mainly, of course, because we see it on television, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So we assume those people are making that kind of money. So for you to even say here, yeah, I was going to my twin bed, I was going to my mother's house, and because of what I'd learned, so it wasn't even the industry, it was my mindset that I brought into this environment that shaped the decisions that I made, right? Which could have helped me ask for a promotion, expand, the skill set that I had. But again, this falls into, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Right.
So I did the best I could, right? Because just because you don't know does not mean you can't advance.
Right.
This might
Amen.
not be in the direction you want or at the speed that you want, right?
Mm.
But forward you will go. So you recently engaged in our workshop content on money trauma. So never had enough, you
Mhm.
just said, right? Did that come up? Like, what did you recognize in your money story that you pretty much just shared with us?
Yeah, that was huge in terms of scarcity and living from a fear-based perspective, having the lens of fear. And I know a part of that was adopted through watching mom or listening to family. Again, we may have had family members who may have owned homes, which is great. And I still don't own a home yet, but it doesn't mean I can't
Mhm.
eventually. But even being in a family of women who owned homes, and I say women sincerely, it was mostly the women, whether they had partners or didn't have, or partners are no longer there. And even owning a home, they still don't have enough. Still the complaints. Still the lack mentality
Mm.
was there. And so that was one of the traumas coming up. Like I mentioned earlier, putting something on a card. I'm not I will, and I've probably done it too much, but I'm very cognizant of it. Even so, I'm still not like just a cash and carry girl. It's still okay, but I'm going to see if I can pay this off as quickly as I can. Sometimes not seeing the interest now that's gripping me because you have a credit card of a certain amount and you're paying $67 interest. What is that? But I learned that. Put it on the card. Put it on the card. So yeah, some of those scripts.
So when we first met and we were going through your finances, one of the things that I remember you saying was like, I have money, but it's like in different places, and I never like put it all in one place when we put the budget together. And you would be someone who is categorized as a solopreneur.
Uh-huh.
You technically are getting, you have jobs,
Mm-hmm.
plural, and
Mm-hmm.
then from those jobs you're getting, paid. So walk me through what that experience was with you when, we went through the budget and you were getting your receipts and you were putting things together. What did that, what was that like for you to go through that?
So let me rewind a bit, right? It was a big year, well, a year that I wanted to go away for my birthday with some friends, including you.
I remember.
And things were falling through the cracks. And I didn't, first of all, give you guys, you ladies, and myself enough time to prepare for something like this. I may have given you 6 months, perhaps, maybe even 3, for all I know. And it
Mhm.
wasn't intentional. It was just like, oh, an idea, let's go with it rather than plan. So that kind of speaks to some of the habits or patterns of development in terms of finances as well, not really fully planning out, like the Bible says, count the cost before you build the house, right? And or do something that's costly and you want people to come with you. You
Mhm.
got to kind of, make a preparation or prepare for that. So when that started to fall through, I laugh now because this was in 2019. And that started to fall through. You were probably the last Mohican of willing to go, but then couldn't go. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. But then you said, and either I said I probably didn't have it anyway at the moment, didn't have enough of it. And then you said, do you have a budget? And I was like, no. You don't have a, do you have a budget? I either you asked it twice or whatever. And I said, no, I don't. And then something just happened quickly where you was like, I'm coming to your house. Let's set this up after church or whatever. And we'll take a look at what you got. And in doing so, we spent some time together in working through my budget. And what one of the things that you said to do was to gather all of my credit cards and everything that I owe, wherever money was, bring it to the table and we'll go through it. And in that conversation, I'll say this. I remember you saying to me, you have money. I probably didn't know I had money. I think that's what happened. You said you have money, but it was like all over the place and you couldn't see it and you wanted to streamline it. And you did that for me. And I was so humbled after the many hours that we spent. And thankfully I had some food so I could feed you. But and I appreciate it when you said that, because that hit me in a place that was so tender. Mm-hmm. And vulnerability, feeling very exposed but safe, like a brand new baby coming through the womb and raw. That's the best way to explain it, because no one has ever really looked at my finances with a fine tooth comb and not that, yeah, no one has done that. And plus I might've been too afraid or ashamed because I might've felt that I would be judged, even if I had a professional really kind of help me. And you were a professional, but like one with financial blah, blah, blah behind their name, But when you said to me, because I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was trying to put it in vehicles that kind of made sense. But when you said to me, you have money, you just have it all over the place. It broke me. Because where I'm thinking I'm completely just inept and not having anything I have to decide between this or that rather than both and, or something, how you said it to me that even then, I just cried because you helped me, and one of the things that you said at the end, once we created this budget, you said, what I needed was time, accountability, and support. And I've never forgotten that. And I didn't need a lot of accountability, but these were the three components that would help me to stay on track. And so when you helped to develop a working and live budget for me, which I never really had because I tried it, but I didn't know how to improve it, keep it consistent. I'm not administratively astute in order to make it work well for me. So I would run away from it, because I'm always writing. I'm always erasing and rewriting, and that's not efficient. So when you created that live document for me and got me on track, and I was on track for many years, like a good 5 or 6. Now I still have the same budget, and I could probably use a little retweaking as we talked about, but it had helped me. And I stayed on it consistently. I think every week for maybe 2 years or every other week, I stayed on track because I also had a non-traditional employment. I had multiple streams or some streams of income. So it was non-traditional. It wasn't that consistent paycheck that I would get every week or every 2 weeks. So I had to be creative with that, and you helped me in that regard. So thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Well, you've said this before, but every time you talk about it, I learn something more because your memory is so much better than mine. So when of that moment, when you're helping someone, you don't always see the impact until the person tells you, right? So it's like, I know what I did, but I couldn't say I know the impact that I made. right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure you've helped somebody, and when they come back to you, you're like, really?
Right. I
And
said
for
that
you,
right.
it's like, oh, this is what I do. So to hear you say, specifically remembering, oh my gosh, I do have money everywhere, and that I need, that I need support, and I need accountability, and I need time, and that you weren't giving that to yourself,
Mm.
right? And it makes my heart so glad to hear that you're like, oh no, I wasn't in it every week. Because there's some folks who just joined the community,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, every day is like, oh my gosh, and every week, and it's difficult, right? So I may have you come say this exact thing so that they can see there's a living, breathing person
Right.
that has,
Something similar. It ain't gonna come out the same all the
yeah,
time. But
oh no, no.
I got you.
The thing
I got you.
that touched me is you said that you were in it, that you, not only that, but that you stayed in it. So
Yeah.
the changes that you saw was because of that. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So if there was
Mm-hmm.
two people, one of them was like, I haven't looked at it in 6 months.
Okay.
The other person has, you're going to see, they're going to tell two different stories,
That's true. That's very
right?
true.
That's just
Mm-hmm.
it. And that's applicable to life anyway. If I drink more water than you, if I go to the gym more than you, those 30 days of any of those things, the two
Right.
people will tell two totally different stories.
That's true.
That's it. That's not magic and miracles. It's work.
Right.
Right. Like it works if you work it, as they say. So I'm loving everything that you're saying. And, I'm interested to know, like, what practices have helped you heal and lead from a healthier place based on what you just said about your money memory and, with your family and your mom, through the broadcasting and the job, through now being in the budget and being a solopreneur. Are there any practices that you use for yourself to help you heal, that you feel like you're not the same person you were 5 or 10 years ago?
Well, I'm definitely not that, just by sheer action, like what you said, right? Keeping track of the budget at the time. I can't say it's as consistent as it is now, but I don't feel burdened because that tool has been implemented, and I can always go back to it, and I can always look at it and plug in numbers and see where money is, or what my money is doing for me. Practices of investing. I was afraid to invest. Though during the pandemic, and I have to give God credit for it, because for many years I've wanted to invest. I even started an investment club some 20 some odd years ago, but didn't see it to completion, as you say, or tweak it to completion, or figure it out because other things. But nonetheless, I've always had an interest in how to manage my finances. But entering into stock market, I was afraid because I didn't really understand it, and I didn't learn enough back then to be able to do so. So really just being applicable, applying the word plus some of the works, right? Faith without works is dead. So when you help me with this budget, and again, I wasn't a fan of budget because I was like, oh, don't restrict me. Or that's the presenting problem. We'll say it's going to restrict us. But the real thing is the fear of not sticking to it is one thing, fear of not knowing what to do with the budget or how to manage it properly is another. It's not so the restriction we use, but it's something else underneath that, right? And so having that just help. It was really a guideline. It was a parameter that was set. It was boundaries that helped me to see where money is and where money can go, what I can do differently, how I can, shift some things around if necessary. You look like a proud mama. I can see I can see it in your face.
Is it obvious? Oh my gosh.
It's a proud mama. But to that point, we're afraid of budgets for some reason. But like I said, it's an underlining thing, not just a restriction of it.
Yep.
And sometimes the loss, we think we're going to lose something by sticking to a budget. And it really actually helps you gain a lot more.
Oof. I was going to ask you a question about, what have you learned and what could you share? You did it.
Okay.
Like, that was the answer, right? Like, So, because you bridge in your answer news, faith, and culture, like that's all of that. And your faith informs your stewardship,
Yes, it does.
right? Like as people of faith, we know this isn't just willy-nilly get cash. It
Right.
is, are you faithful with a little so that you can be faithful with a lot? And the story of the talents, like, did you
Yes.
invest it? Did you bury it? Did you waste
Yes.
it? You know what I'm
I said
saying?
that this morning.
So it's some people are surprised to hear that the Bible talks about money a
A
lot.
lot. A lot.
And certainly Jesus had a treasurer. So if you ain't got no money, you don't need a treasurer. You don't need an accountant because you ain't got no money, right?
Right.
But if you have money, for me, that translates into he made two very important decisions where that he got a professional that would
Mm-hmm.
manage it,
That's good.
right?
That's good.
Because some of the excuses people be like, well, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a okay. Well, he wasn't either.
Right.
He had a calling. And that was his primary thing that he needed to focus on, which he did. But it was clear that he needed a team, that
Right.
he needed an assistant, that he needed an accountant, that he
He needed
needed a
someone.
guy. Like, there are people who's like, go ahead, do this, get everything set up. That's called the advanced team. You know what I'm saying? But if you
Mm-hmm.
look at his whole ministry from a managerial and a management standpoint and an operation standpoint, brilliant, brilliant, because he knew I need these 10 people to make this project work. And
Right.
we should always be thinking, who's my transition team? Do I have a lawyer, somebody I can talk to about, all of my paperwork? Is all of that in order? Do I have a safety deposit box where everything is in, right? And you pegged on something important, which is fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're always thinking that if we do these things, bad things are going to happen to us. If I get
Right.
my papers in order, I'm dying. I don't know who
Right.
started that, but that makes no sense, right?
The devil, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Right. Right.
but
Right.
you'll be restricted. But what you're saying is the budget set me free. It did not
Mm-hmm.
restrict me. It did not
Yeah.
imprison. Once the lie of that was revealed, I realized that I know where my money is. I know what I can budget. I know what I can afford. I know what I can't. That the
Mhm.
budget is telling me the truth. So I'm free to move about the cabin. So
Right.
I'm gonna take you back now. So if you had to do this all over again for your birthday,
Mm.
what two different things would you do this time? Same scenario. What would you do differently?
Plan. Right. Duh, 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 duh. Plan, plan in advance what it is so that I'm not as stressed and I give other people that respect and opportunity to do
Mhm.
that and budget what it is, look and do research on where I'm trying to go and then to budget that out for the plan that I have ahead, for the future. Yeah, two easy things.
Ah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
say simple and profound.
yeah.
Easy, you probably get some pushback on.
Right, right.
But yeah, plan and budget, like those two things. You're doing 10, not you, but you're the general people. We're doing 10 things that are causing us to suffer that we don't want to let go when we could do two things
Hmm.
that would uh,
Right, right, right. Isn't
that
that, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
that would alleviate that. So as we look to the year coming to a close, we usually have how do I say a little live exercise that we do here, and that is to write down one money belief you're shedding this fall in this season and the new replacement for it. So folks can drop it in the chat, and I'll give you some time
Hmm.
to answer and to give an example of, example, I'm behind. It's already October, right? And that,
Okay.
as opposed to, I'm right on time and I'm moving with intention. So
Okay.
you take some time to think about it. I'm going to share with the people that to think about again, how can you be different by December? This is something we're really thinking about, like what is one thing you can release this year? What one practice are you going to double down before the year end? And this is how we design our life, by seeding that right now. And
Mhm.
that's our message to everyone is, please don't wait till December 31st. Please don't do that, because you're going to be sorely disappointed on the first that everything wasn't magically delicious when
Mm-hmm.
you woke up, right? As opposed to, I'm going to start now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So do you want to share yours with
I would
us?
say one of the things that I am shedding, and I know it'll be over time, but I'm much more advanced in that shedding process, is the scarcity mindset. I think
Mm,
that's something I've learned from you too. Just in here, I know the word, I've heard the word, I've used the word, but when we always thinking in scarcity, we move that way. But if we move with abundance, and because of, as you know, born again believer, loves the Lord kind of person, and a daughter of the Most High God, there is nothing that lacks in his kingdom, nor does it lack for his children. There's no lack for his children. So we may not be able to have everything now because it may take planning and budgeting, but it's these things are in our possession.
mm,
Abundance, I should say,
correct.
abundance, not things, but abundance is in within reach and in our possession. We already actually have it
I was
because of
just
who we
about to
know.
say, you're absolutely right, because we are here in seed form. That's
Mhm.
important for folks to know that, right? You're here in seed form. So that means you've come with everything that you need to become who you need to become. Everything else is supplemental, right? So
Mhm.
thinking about it that way, you don't come into the world with soil, you don't come with
Right.
rain, you don't come with sunshine, but you need all of that, which has already been provided, right? But inside is the cells for being a doctor, a good mom, a lawyer, a good
Mhm.
neighbor, a good wife, whatever it is to find the cure for cancer. It's already in
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But now the job is, do you plant yourself in good soil? Do you
Mhm.
get enough water? Do you make sure that you get sunshine? You see what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and it's a little known fact, but I'm all about the fun facts. Did you know that whether you plant a watermelon seed or orange seed or an apple seed or carrots, it doesn't matter. Did you know that within the seed, once it goes into the soil has potassium and all other kinds of nutrients that are in the soil?
Mhm.
Did you know that each seed knows exactly how much of those things to take out of the soil?
Wow.
Wow is right.
Wow.
So a mustard seed does not need the same amount of potassium that a watermelon seed needs.
Right.
The seed not being sentient, the
Mhm.
seed is not sentient, and the seed knows I need this much potassium, this much magnesium to pull out of the soil to become an
Wow, what
apple.
I need to be, right. And to be fruitful, to multiply,
There
to
you go.
produce fruit that will
You
multiply.
you went on to as they say, my next slide. But
Listen.
that is exactly correct. So if we then, being sentient with a spirit, a soul, in a body, know that we've come here in seed form, it's
Mhm.
our life's work to figure out how much magnesium, potassium, how much people, who are the people who are trying, what's the team that I need? Because I got everything,
Right.
right? To do that. So based on what you said about scarcity, what is the one action you're either taking or going to take to decrease that mindset in your life?
Well, one principle in the kingdom is giving, right?
Mhm.
Give and it should be given to you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over shall men give into your bosom. So the more that I give, not haphazardly, not without discretion, and
Correct.
even saying yes to God, not to people, but yes to God, the more He will pour back. It's reciprocal. And that just came. So I thank Holy Spirit for that one because it is a giving process in order to mitigate some of the lack that you feel, right? If you give more, you'll receive, not necessarily the same way you gave it, but you'll get back. But in a more practical, also a more practical way in terms of reallocating certain funds. So, for instance, there's a bill that I had and that I was paying a certain amount, and it's been reduced And so now I could reallocate what I had been paying, the balance or the amount that
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
that portion into investing and pouring back into myself or whatever the thing is, or giving for that matter. I can be giving that. And I do. I give, not I tithe. I'm very much of a believer of tithing. It's
Mhm.
worship as unto God. And I've seen him do miraculous things in my life as a result of being a giver, being a consistent tither and not out of grudge. But I love tithing because God has given me so much. He says, I will supply all of your needs according to my riches and glory through Christ Jesus. So when we
Yes.
give to other people unselfishly of our time, of our talent, and Pastor Bernard, my pastor says, time, talent, treasures, and resources and
Mhm,
relationships, right?
mhm, mhm.
Then you'll reap the rewards of that harvest. You will.
Amen. I feel
Yeah.
like I should pass the plate around. Thank you,
One more time. Yeah. Just pass.
Evangelist Nicole. Um, you are absolutely right, and I'll end this by saying that when you say about the giving, it becomes your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like, it is not that I give, it is that I'm a giver,
I'm a giver. Yes. Amen.
right?
Mhm.
So I give of myself. So whether it's my time, talent, treasure, as you said, or resources,
Right.
that is who I am. That is the filter through which I look at life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it becomes a lifestyle. Well,
Amen.
I'm 100% sure you're coming back now because there's like 7 other questions I didn't get to ask you, but that's okay because you'll come back for the other. This was a good conversation, which is what we wanted it to be, right?
Mhm.
My speaker coach, Andy Enriquez, says often, do not let what you want to say get into the way of what the audience needs to hear.
Mm.
And I believe what
That's
you said is what the audience needs to hear.
that's good.
So thank
Amen.
you. Thank you for that. And it's good that, like I said, we were led, and the prayer in the beginning was for open eyes to see, ears to hear, and hearts to receive. And I believe that we got all 3 of them today.
Yay. And I
Whatever
have
else we hear.
some takeaways from your beginning, from your opening, is the power of the pause. I appreciate hearing that and how we move about in life. We don't just kind of run head first into something, but we take the moment to pause. And that even with our finances, we don't have to always um, apply something so quickly. We can pause, breathe, be still, take it in, take in what it is that you're take inventory, right?
Yep.
And then move forward. So thank you for that as well.
Awesome. See, we were in agreement. So there was nothing to prevent the flow. That's
Mhm.
that's why that happened. You drop gems, I drop gems because
Amen.
we come from the gem maker.
Yes. So we're
Okay.
gonna be gem droppers because
I
we come
just
from the gem makers.
I just made that up.
And
Nicole,
it's a good one.
thank you for coming today. I look forward to when you will return. It's always a good time talking with you.
Yes.
And you're right. I am a proud mama because when you pour in, you your expectation, but it's not guaranteed, is that you would see, you watered the seed and it grew.
See the
And
fruit.
that's what happened. So thank you for growing. Thank you for taking the principles
Yeah.
of the 4 keys and using them in your life. You are a wonderful testimony. So
Thank
I
you.
look forward to you coming back. Thank you for being here today, though.
Thank you for sharing.
That was awesome. So, again, I'm just excited to see um, when you go through something in life and you are like, why did this happen to me? Like, this was really bad. Rupturing my Achilles tendon and being in that bed for 12 weeks, there was nothing good about that, or so I thought. But it was the longest pause I've had, one of the longest pauses I've had in my life. And once I shifted from why am I here? Why is this happening to me? To maybe this is a time for me to sit and reflect. What am I supposed to be using this time for? And to have the 4 keys come out of that, to see it take life, take root, and people use it, it just brings me so much joy. It really does. Um, it's my jam, seeing people set free. I love it. I really do, because I believe that the world needs right now, especially people who are set free and liberated so that they can help others become free, and to see that they are amazing creations of God, that they should heed the call on their life, that they have a purpose and a reason for being, and that they're, as you have one thing, you got one job, and that is to find out, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? So if you don't know, I encourage you to find out, especially now, because the world needs you. And whatever your gifts, talents, and abilities are, I promise you, the world needs you now. So thank you for joining me on another Money Talks Focus Fireside Chat. I'm looking forward to the next one and the next one after that, because I believe that this show is doing good in the world. So if you want to learn more about the 4 keys to master your money without a budget that you hate, as Nicole said, restricting me, but now I know that it has set me free, you can visit focusfire.life and find out of when our next workshop will be. And also, if you're interested in being a part of this Different by December, just fill out the contact and on the subject, put Different by December, and we'll know to put you along with that group of people. So I'm going to check the chat because I don't always do that to see what's going on. Look at Althea Butler's here. Yay. Hi, Althea. Thank you for coming. And you're right, girl. Purpose is everything. I don't know anyone who, after being all, how do I say, twisted and turned, who did the work and after time got alignment, and their purpose is what helped that. The moment you say, what am I supposed to be doing? Hold up. It changes everything. So we're going to be talking a lot about that too as we end this year and going into 2026. Please don't wait till December 31st. Start thinking about how you want your 2026 to be now, which will help you end 2025 with intention and with purpose and with momentum. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time.